Hi there, my name's Darren Gibb. Firstly, thank you for commenting Starburster. For doing so, I really wanted to give you something I feel is special and something that the majority of my clients find incredibly difficult when they start working with me, and I help them to really start using it effectively to be getting more calls booked and ultimately more clients as well. So I want to show you how to master the DM flow, really showing you how to go from commonality to the call itself. So let's jump in. DMs are essential for personal trust building conversations that convert. This is the very bedrock of LinkedIn. The goal of this video, I'm going to show you how to transition prospects from initial contact into a meaningful sales call. And the focus is helping you to build trust, uncover symptoms rather than pain points, asking the right questions, and ultimately pivoting effectively onto that call. And it's by myself, Darren Gibb. Okay, let's start with commonality. Now, what I mean by commonality, quite simply, is focusing on something that you've got in common, those mutual grounds. It could be somebody's post that you've both commented on. It could be a post of theirs that you've commented on. It could be something you've both liked. It could be a shared industry that you're both in, a shared position. Find out what it is that truly sets you having that commonality as the base point of having a conversation. Because let's be honest, and it's happened to you numerous times, I'm sure, you've been pitch slapped. Somebody's connected with you and immediately they're offering to jump on a free 20-minute call so they can save your unending problems. What a bunch of nonsense. It might have worked in 2016, it doesn't work in 2025 and beyond. An example you could be using, I saw your comment on X post, give a bit of context to remind them of it and the author's name. What compelled you to add this? You can play around with that question so it sounds more like your language, but go in there finding that commonality early on. The purpose of this is it's lower resistance. We're not going in there saying, what problem have you got? I can fix that problem. I'm great, I know everything. We're going in there as a human being, as if we would at a normal networking event. So what compelled you to come to this event today? It's the same idea. Bonus point, you can also do it with LinkedIn events as well to start that conversation. But establish that trust from the start. Look for that mutually beneficial commonality before jumping in. From there, we want to start exploring symptoms. Here's where you're going wrong, and all the gurus get this completely wrong. Pain points are irrelevant, really, for 90 to 97% of people. We know that 3% of people actively have a problem and are seeking a solution. 7% of people are pain point aware, but they're not ready to do anything about it yet. That means 90% of people are not aware of the pain points they have, but they are aware of their symptoms. So we want to explore these symptoms. We want to discuss more surface level challenges within the DMs to help build trust instead of deep pain points. As I say, most people won't be aware of them, or if they are, you've not earned, keyword here, earned the right to be able to speak about them with this person. So therefore going with the symptoms instead. It's easier to discuss and it allows the prospect to feel heard. An example of a symptom could easily be, I'm posting but not getting lots of leads for my niche. Or, I feel invisible on LinkedIn. Now, the pain point is that the person doesn't have the correct content strategy to be able to create content which brings in inbound leads. Or, feeling invisible on LinkedIn, they don't have the correct outbound DM strategy to be getting people to join as part of their community and building trust within them. These are the pain points that they wouldn't necessarily be aware of, but they can understand the symptom, I'm posting but not getting leads, or I feel invisible. So think of a question that's going to elicit that symptom from them. So how has X symptom affected your results? Just an example within my niche. Think what kind of question is going to be able to elicit that symptom, to make them recognize and elicit. From there, you can start to build a conversation around it. Then we get into what versus why questions. These are the most important thing that 99.9% of people using LinkedIn don't even begin to know how to approach. You want to be approaching them in this way when it comes to the DM conversation, as it's going to significantly increase the amount of leads that you're getting onto calls. So we use it to combine logic and emotion by alternating these questions. The what question, this explores actions and facts, the thing. So for example, what have you done to try and solve this? It's a what question. Notice how they're open-ended questions as well, not closed questions. It elicits an answer rather than a response of yes or no. So what questions explore actions and facts. Why questions, they dive into emotions and motivations. So we're using system 1 and system 2 of the brain here effectively in conjunction with one another to actually get the person speaking, thinking and saying things out loud. So for example, why do you think this hasn't worked so far? This allows people to truly see what the issue is. So I might say to them, for example, so what is it you feel about DMs that just isn't quite working at the moment? The person might say to me, I just don't know what it is to say. I would then come up, why do you feel it is you don't know what it is to say to be getting that conversation progressed? Can you see the power of this is taking the what and getting to think deeper as into the why? Now, as an expert in your space, you're naturally going to have a solution that's going to be able to help them. This is something that other people don't necessarily have. The outcome of this sort of joined up thinking is what versus why. It deepens the conversation and it uncovers underlying issues. This is what most people are not doing in the DMs. The what versus why. It's incredibly nuanced. It takes a lot of practice. There's a couple of key things you can do to really accelerate this process. I've clearly not got time to go into these in this video, but I can show you a bit more about them in the future if you want. There's a couple of things you can do to really get this embedded and working for you even quicker. Step 4 naturally is to pivot to a call. So offer actionable advice. You might want to provide value related to their symptom. You're going to want to use your judgment here, but quite often you are going to want to be going in here and giving a little bit of value to solve that problem partially, not entirely. More of the entire solution gets onto the call. But this is something that you can do. So you can use curiosity to acknowledge complexity. So for example, look, what it is here, this has helped, or this problem you have, it's a nuanced issue and it's hard to tackle in the DMs. So why don't we hop on a call to go deeper, and that way I can address any specific questions you've got and tailor them to your direct niche or issue. At this point, you've got what we call the expert frame. You are the expert in this conversation. You have the power within this conversation because they're already looking up to you. They're essentially conditioned to the idea that you ask a question, they answer it. You ask a question, they answer it. You are emotionally leading them. First of all through your content, then into the DMs, which prepares them for a sales call to be emotionally led by you so that you can really get to the bottom of it. Because you've taken a bit more time than your average person here and you've used some strategy, you're going to actually have a lot more answers already than you normally would have. And secondly, they're going to trust you a lot more than they normally would have because you've been generous enough to ask the right questions and to offer that little bit of value. So the thing that's left to do now is for you to implement the DM flow. Start with that commonality. Explore symptoms instead of diving straight into pain points. Quite often that symptom will develop into a pain point through what and why questioning. At some point it's going to be the right moment to be thinking, okay, I've done enough what and why to balance logic and emotion. I'm ready now to pivot naturally to schedule a call to explore what it would look like if you were to go ahead and to work with one another. That's all it is. That's all you need to be doing. This is the first step to be meaningfully mastering LinkedIn conversations. So look, I hope this has been useful. Hopefully there's a few light bulbs gone off there that have got you thinking in a different way than you perhaps have about LinkedIn and LinkedIn DM strategy. It's nuanced, yes, but it certainly isn't a one-size-all template, which is probably what you've been using before and which is probably why you've been struggling to book leads. My clients on average book 3 to 5 calls a week using this very strategy. So next up for you is to go ahead and give me a DM on LinkedIn. Let me know, did you find this useful? Did you find that this has helped you think about DM LinkedIn strategy in a different way? What light bulb moments have you had? What's gone off for you which now makes you see DM strategy different and how you can implement it? Or what further questions you have about it? What would you like me to go into a little bit more depth? And obviously if you want to go ahead and to start working together, I'll happily let you know a little bit more about that as well. So looking forward to hearing from you in the DMs. And speaking of DMs, all the best of luck using this strategy. I guarantee you'll see a few leads coming in from it.